Ah, yes, the van life. Could it really be the modern American dream? The lifestyle we all so desperately crave for from the comfort of our screens? The life that seems all too good to be true? Perhaps too good to be true at all? Oh, throw a couple crossed leg photos in there. They like those. Oh, and why not a couple topless blondes? Those seem popular. My name is Jake Sturkenberg, and I'm an enthusiast of what I like to call the road life. While I haven't experienced the van life per se, I do from time to time indulge myself in this particular lifestyle, my longest solo trip being 6 weeks through the western states. I've seen a lot concerning these increasingly trendy living situations, and my aim with this project is to open up the truth about these lifestyles. This is the Modern American Dream Tapes. Oh no, wrong way. Yeah, that way. You almost opened it upside down. Alright. Oop. How is it?
Good, actually.
Welcome to the Modern American Dream Tapes.
Wait, Canada.
Huh?
American?
No, that's what it's called. So, today is the first episode, and I've never done this before, and so it's going to be interesting. But here's my first guest. This is Aden Brandt. I guess my first question is, what's your experience with like road life, van life, or just car camping in general?
Well, I can tell you it's mostly good experiences, going out on the road and the van life and
What kind of van? Like a big
minivan.
convertible? Oh, mini.
Sam's
Yeah, the soccer mom van.
yeah, like a soccer mom minivan kind of thing.
So you want to like elaborate on what we did with the vans? Like we didn't live in the vans.
No, we mainly kind of use it just to get around, like not have to
On
go
trips.
to campgrounds and
Yeah.
pay to be there and stuff. Like we had the vehicles, the van and the SUVs as a house for us.
For road trips.
For
yeah.
road trips, yes.
Yeah.
The experience I had going on the roads, with you guys and in the minivan, it always felt, full. Like there was always going to be something more that was going to happen. That was going to keep the van and SUV lively and just full of excitement. And it was a good experience. It was, sometimes it was a long drive, but, we always kept things entertaining. And it just felt like home.
So you're saying that like us as a group when we went out, we did things to keep ourselves entertained, right? Like there's a certain point where traveling you can kind of get exhausted from it. Like as hard as that is to imagine, you can actually get kind of tired from just hiking and sightseeing all the time. So do you just want to like provide some examples of how we entertained ourselves other than just being tourists?
Mm-hmm. What we did to keep ourselves entertained? Oh man. Well, I'll start with the music. There was some good music. There was some sad music, depressing music, shitty music, and then the good song that you can sing along to. Mainly that was played by me mostly, but the music we kept playing all along, and we sometimes told stories, just to keep the driver awake, or every once in a while, if I was sitting in the front, I would turn around and I look at you or Sam, and I see you just put your mouth open, and I'm like, oh right, take a picture. And at one point, I do remember I put a Twizzler in your mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably started eating it.
You were eating it,
I
yeah.
started eating it while sleeping.
Sometimes we pulled over on the side of the road and swam at lakes, to entertain ourselves, wake ourselves up.
Did some cliff jumping. And
Right,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
And just some of that, yeah. And Yeah, mainly just, you know, looking for something to do. Because, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes the road is long and you just sit there and you have an idea that comes up. And
Yeah. So it's definitely difficult to keep yourself entertained, as hard as that is to believe. Like, especially when I was on the road by myself for 6 weeks, I definitely had to get creative with entertaining myself, because I got exhausted from traveling after, like, it took me under a week till I was at that point where I just thought, yeah, like, this is not gonna work. I can't do this for 6 weeks on my own, just sightseeing, like, even hiking, swimming. It gets tired, and you just gotta find different ways to just keep yourself in that headspace of, well, I need to do things from my normal life and integrate them into this lifestyle, so it's not just full-blown traveling 24/7. And so I would make videos a lot, because that's just something I'm passionate about. I would make videos, edit a lot of photos. I would definitely try to meet people as often as I could. And I had no one that I knew because I was in America. And so I had to force myself to just to meet people like that. So do you have anybody or people that you've met on the road and, like, have a special connection or story with? Something like that?
Well, the one person that popped up in my head that was special to not just me, but also to you and Sam. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know,
We met him too.
yeah, we all met him. He was a guitar player or a drummer.
He was a vocalist,
He was the
and he did
vocalist,
guitar.
right. Yeah. His name was Chase Craig. The band was Chase Craig Band or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he was, I don't remember where we were, but...
We were in Washington State.
Was it in Washington?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we were somewhere at a lake, and he parked his truck down too close to the lake on a rainy day, right? Am I right?
It rained overnight.
It
and
rained overnight,
The next
yeah.
morning we...
And
met him.
you know, he was by himself, and he parked down by the river, and his truck was stuck, like completely stuck. He couldn't even get it out at all, and
He was using his music stands to try to get it out.
yeah,
'Cause he didn't have boards, or I don't
Nope.
know if he had floor mats or anything.
He was just trying whatever he had,
Yeah.
and was like trying to shovel out the mud and like trying to
Yeah.
get himself out.
Yeah,
And
he destroyed some
We
of his
all
stuff.
walked down there to help him out, and we couldn't get his truck out at all. It was impossible. It was just
Yeah.
so. But you know, the guy was super nice. You know, he was pretty. He was a pretty cool guy. He gave us a T-shirt and a CD.
Yeah, a couple CDs.
Yeah, a couple of CDs. They were
Yeah.
mainly from the band that he's in.
Oh, yeah, they were really good too.
Yeah, they
'cause
were
we
good.
listened to
Yeah,
them.
they weren't half bad. I haven't listened to them since. I should probably listen to them again. But
I still got that CD.
you do?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're the one that kept it?
I got one of them. Yeah, I
You
think
got one of
Sam
them?
has the
Yeah.
other one.
I can't remember if Sam has the other one or not, but
Yeah.
but like,
I still keep in contact with him on Instagram. I don't know if
oh,
you guys
okay.
do.
Yeah, no, I
Just
don't.
kind of every now and then, just keep in touch.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he was super nice and super chill, and it was too bad that we couldn't get him out of that mud hole that he was in. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, he told us that he was meeting a girl from Hawaii.
right? Yeah, do you
And
remember
we're
that?
like, well, that's kind of weird. Like that, I don't know. It kind of seemed unplausible, but he was insisting that he was meeting this girl from Hawaii, and she was gonna meet him there because he couldn't contact a tow truck for whatever reason. Well, I guess they couldn't get down to the beach, but we had to go, and literally on our way out, this girl pulls up in an SUV with the Hawaii license plate,
Yep.
and we were just like cheering him on because we were just like, yeah, man, like, she made it. We were just proud of him, I guess. So traveling in a group can be a little difficult. Like, even if you're with your closest friends, you're gonna be in close quarters if you did what we did, we were all sleeping three to a van, like a mom van, so not that big, and we're around each other 24/7. Our first trip was 16 days, which it's not super long, but I mean we can get tired of each other. But do you just want to explain kind of the ups and downs of that, kind of the dynamic of the group, how we act with each other, as compared to how we act around each other, like back at home? Is it any different?
All right. The very first trip we did, the Vancouver Island and Oregon trip for 16 days, that really freaking hurt my back. Oh my God, I had a terrible back pain after that. Mainly because I tried so much to get far away from you so you wouldn't touch me in your sleep. You know, like hugging me or like push me against the door, and you know, it's just horrible. Felt like a little spoon, not gonna lie. It was that was just the biggest downfall of the trip. It was just too much time in like the vehicle, and just like every night was just a bad experience for me.
Every night?
Every night. From the first night of like you stealing the blanket and leaving me all cold and wet and it was
Wet?
well, we left the window up, so it's like it got wet in the car.
The condensation.
Yeah, condensation basically. And I was so cold that night. I put on a hoodie and I was like curled up in a fetal position. And no, yeah, first trip was, I mean, there's a lot of good memories, but like, I had a horrible back pain and I was like, I didn't want to talk to you or Sam for a long time after that. And then the second trip, which was like 10 days or something like that. Was it 10 days? Something like that.
Yeah, just over a week. Yeah, a week and a half.
That was much better. I had no problem at all because, you know, we all learned from the very first trip, you know, who should sleep in the middle, who should sleep on the side, you know. We figured out, you know, who talks in his sleep, who snores in his sleep, who does nothing in his sleep, but like, you know, and then we figured it out. I just want to put it that way, really. Like, we figured it out on the second trip, you know, how things should go down, you know, we knew where to go. We kind of had a plan and we stuck with it the whole way. Like, it worked out. The Oregon and Vancouver Island trip, we argued way too many times. Countless times. And,
well, that's what I was going to say. Like, aside from the physical trauma that you clearly have, aside from your physical issues, that's what I want to ask you about, like, emotionally and relationally. How was the dynamic between us three, as there's three of us around each other all the time? Like, how did we communicate?
I would say we communicated pretty well. We agreed for the most part, and we made some sacrifices along the way. So there was a point where our arguments really got to the point of like, oh my God, we actually are going to do this? Like, I really want to tell this kid I don't want to go to this beach, or I don't want to go to this lake, or I don't want to pay for this. I already paid for this. You know, it was a little bit useless. It was a little bit of pointless arguing, but you know, it's what brought us closer together. You know, and we finally understood each other even more of who we are. You know.
Yeah.
The very first trip we did, the Oregon and Vancouver trip, that really opened up my viewpoint of who you guys are. You know, like
because you're around us.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. And I'll tell you this, there was a moment where I actually wanted to strangle you guys, run you over, freaking like.
You want to finish that?
And
So-
then
I'm
but
glad
like
you did
the
it.
thing is though, I made the sacrifices and I went with it, you know.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they turned out great. Other times, you know, they were just a little bit of a wasted energy. But I will point out, you know, there were times that, you know, Sam and I would be on the same page and you were off on your own, you know, plan.
Uh-huh.
And we had to go along with it. And then there were other times that you and I were on the same page and we had to go along with Sam, or you both were on the same page and you had to deal with me. There were times, you know, it was 2 against 1. And, you know, we figured it out, you know, through arguments, through sacrifices, through, you know, supporting one another, you know, like, yes, we can do it this way if you want it this way. And we go along and, you know, we all still made great memories on this trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, you know, if we never really did argue as much, if we were so passive aggressive the entire trip, I don't think our friendship could have gotten stronger. You know, we could have, you know, probably parted ways after the Oregon and Vancouver trip, but we never did. We figured it out as a family, you know, isn't that what most friends and family do anyway? You know, argue to get to a point of like, you know, agreeing with one another then and be like, okay.
Well, and I say sometimes arguments don't have to necessarily lead to an agreement. You can
Sure.
disagree and that's completely fine, but to just, you know, get your opinion out and just share your thoughts and without holding them in, you kind of come to understanding. You don't have to come to an agreement, but you can come to understanding each other better that way.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
yeah, the fact of the matter is, if you travel in a group, if you travel even as a couple, you're not gonna agree with each other 100% of the time, and you're just gonna have to learn how to compromise for one another. And with the three of us, I know sometimes myself personally, I would just kind of want to go, and never really stop to just relax.
Yeah, there were a few
And-
times that Sam and I just wanted to chill.
Yeah.
And then you just was like, let's go out to the beach and have a fire. No.
Yeah, at midnight.
But, yeah.
And-
at freaking midnight sometimes. Like,
Sometimes I would, but that was probably a weekend where we realized like we can do this. We don't have to do everything together. We can figure this out and kind of do things the way we want to do them. And it's hard to figure out. It's hard to work around, but
well, I know
yeah,
that
it
in
just
the
comes with
morning it was
time.
really easy to let you do your own thing, and then Sam and I would just stay in the car and sleep.
Well, that was the thing that was frustrating for me because I wanted to be up by 6 a.m. and you guys would sleep till 8, 9, and I was out. I was like, well, I can't go anywhere, so I'm just gonna go for a walk or a jog.
Don't
or
forget,
something.
one time you did start driving with both of us in the back, just still sleeping. You started driving, and we were in Oregon.
Yeah.
You remember that big rock?
Yeah, Smith Rock.
That's what it was. You
Yeah.
just was like, you weren't patient with us at all. You just like, I'm gonna keep going. And I think you drove for like 15 minutes or something like that. Maybe not even. I don't know.
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Oh, longer than I
You
thought.
guys,
Anyway.
you guys didn't even wake up.
You just started driving, and I'm like, waking up, like, what's happening? And it's like, the sun is up, you know, why are we moving? Oh, I'm just gonna go back to sleep, because, like you said earlier, we were all tired from our trip, and, but you were like the only one that would just had the energy to keep going, so.
And, well, that's what traveling does to me. So, in the long run, do you think that you would ever replace conventional camping with car camping or SUV camping as we have done? Our technique is to find spots along the way, and most of the time just wing it, and sometimes we're driving at midnight trying to find a spot, but we usually find nice spots. But would you ever replace campground camping as a whole with this other technique?
I wouldn't say I replaced it as a whole, because when we were just doing like roadside camping, you know, not stopping at campgrounds and stuff, during those times it was really good because we were always at different spots. We were waking up to different views, and like different things were happening too, you know, like, oh gosh, a good example. I don't know, like different views of the lake, or you know, different views of the mountains.
We would sleep right on the lakes.
You know, every lake was different. We wake up sometime and go swimming in that lake, and but then I wouldn't get rid of like campgrounds and stuff like that. I would actually still use campgrounds because, you know, sometimes it's better to just sit in one spot and never have to like keep repacking, you know, having to put everything in the vehicle and get on the road again. You know, sometimes it's just better to just sit back and relax and just enjoy what's in front of you, because, you know, sometimes you only need one kind of view, one good enough view. I don't know, in my opinion, if the view is fantastic, I would rather stay there for 2 or 3 or 4 nights sometimes, you know. But the way we did it, there was nothing wrong with it. I actually liked it a lot more, but I'll be honest with you, there were some days that it was just like, I'd rather stay here for a couple of days. It's just a nice spot, you know, and just sit back and relax.
Yeah.
But
so, I have one more question for you. This is a theoretical question. Do you think that dogs get embarrassed?
Dogs get embarrassed?
Yeah. Do they feel embarrassment? Like when they like trip or something? Do you think they feel like that?
Well, I can say that sometimes when I see my dog trip or fall, I don't know. Maybe it's because she's a girl, she might get a little embarrassed.
Oh,
but
that's a little sexist. That's a bold statement.
I know, but like when I had Norman, which was a boy, he would always like tripping and like he falls down and he's like all happy. Where my dog Aspen, maybe it's not for all girls, okay, just put it that way, but like for Aspen, she does seem to show it sometimes. So I think they do, but
how does she show it?
She kind of looked at me in a way, like checking to see if I saw it.
Yeah.
She looked at me, and then if she knows I saw it, she kind of makes a noise. Like, believe it or not, like she makes a noise.
Puts her tail between her legs.
Yeah, that a little bit sometimes, a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like
maybe they do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well there you have it.
I'm so gonna get.
Girl dogs get embarrassed, but boy dogs don't. I guess they feel nothing, or
what?
They're just dumb, and they say ignorance is bliss.
No.
They say ignorance is bliss.
Maybe your dog feels nothing.
But yeah, that's the end of this interview. This is the first interview
of an awkward boy that's like so sexist, apparently. Like, no, that's not what I meant. No.
Don't send him too much hate. I will put his account name so you can DM him. Present him with your opinions if you want to. But yeah, so this is the end. I don't have a whole lot else to say, but thank you for watching, for taking the time to listen. And this is kind of going to be hopefully a multi-part series. I have several people in mind I want to interview that they all have a connection with the road life, as I call it. So on top of interviewing people, I also want to begin promoting a book that I've written. The book is called The Modern American Dream, and these interviews are kind of along the same lines of what I'm trying to touch on. And that's just the basis of road life, as I call it, or van life, as some call it. whatever you want to refer to it as, this is what I've written about, and this is what these videos are about, if you haven't realized that already. So, until next time. Aden, thank you for joining me.
I had a lot of fun.
I hope so.
I did.
We'll see you later.